The M200, also known as the Intervention, is the most powerful sniper rifle in BattleBit, a game that is quite possibly one of the best long-range sniper experiences that you can have in any multiplayer FPS. As long as you're willing to look past the cartoony visuals, the target saturation and consistent long-range distances make for just some incredible sniping opportunities. Let's talk about why this rifle is so great and some tips to help you get better as a sniper in BattleBit. So one of the recent updates for BattleBit drastically increased the rate at which you rank up, which is good news because to get the M200 you have to hit rank 100, which can take quite a while. It's actually quite a nice rank because you unlock the Deagle sidearm at the same time, which is a fantastic sidearm, especially if you're playing the sniper class. You're going to need to use that for any sort of CQB combat situation. Weapon swap speeds in BattleBit are pretty slow, so you're going to want to pick a really powerful sidearm for your sniper class. The G18 can certainly work, though I find it much more effective at downing a single target, where the Deagle can actually drop multiple targets before you need to reload, assuming of course that you actually hit your shots. Now the M200 rifle starts off quite competent. You do get a long range optic and it's just good from the start, but as you start to get more unlocks, you actually make this weapon significantly more powerful. Annoyingly, BattleBit has a ton of attachments, but there's only usually a handful that are really worth considering, and the main one here is going to be this muzzle brake, the Ranger. It's going to take the base damage of 70 with the long range damage of 105 and bump that all the way up to 77 base with a long range damage of 115. And it's going to boost your muzzle velocity another 140 meters per second, making it 1540 meters per second. Honestly, one of the fastest muzzle velocities from any modern sniper rifle in a video game. It makes tracking targets so much easier, although I do have to get used to it because frankly, I'm used to leading a lot more with my targets, and the M200 just doesn't really necessitate that as much. It almost feels hit scan in certain situations. Now, the rest of the attachments don't do a whole lot for the M200. You can get some grips that are going to make you reload a bit faster down the road, which is a nice benefit, but it's not really going to drastically improve your gameplay that much. And the bolts, of course, are a nice quality of life upgrade when you don't have to manually cycle your bolts, and those just get progressively better as you rank up the weapon. But one change that you'll probably want to make pretty immediately is switching from that long range optic to a medium range optic. BattleBit has pretty pronounced scope glint, and just because there's so many enemy players on the battlefield, I think most players, or most snipers rather, are coming to the conclusion that it's better to run the medium range scopes so that you're not giving away your position with that scope glint. Once you put that scope glint up there, you could attract 5, 6, 7 other snipers to your location, and all of a sudden you're just going to get out sniped. You think you're having a 1v1 with some dude at range, and there's actually like 7 dudes shooting at you. So definitely something you want to consider pretty strongly. Granted, there are some like crazy high magnified optics which could make long range sniping a little bit fun or more memey, so I might be trying out like the 20x optic just to see what that's like. Now, one of the reasons why I think sniping in BattleBit is honestly one of the best sniper experiences you can have in a multiplayer FPS right now is just the target rich environment. Anywhere you look, you're going to find somebody for the most part. I mean, as long as you're not looking straight at a wall and over a battlefield, you will find targets. It does mean that there's probably somebody looking at you as well, so you got to watch out for that and kind of control your angles, find weird little hidey holes and sneaky spots to snipe from, but it just makes it much more fun. Where other multiplayer games, you can find your bush or your little tree to hide out in on the side of a hill, but you might not have any targets that show up in any sort of time, where it just isn't the case with BattleBit. Constant targets, target-rich environment. That said, hiding yourself can be a bit more of a skill in this game, especially due to the very simplistic graphics. You're not really going to blend in with the environment as well as you might in some more realistic looking games. So some of the tips I have for newer snipers is to not silhouette yourself against something. So basically, if you're up on a tower or at the top of a mountain, you'll often be silhouetting yourself against the skyline, giving other players a very clear picture of you. They'll notice your movement much easier. If you say hang out in some bushes or by some rocks on the side of a hill, you're going to be much better concealed and you're not going to silhouette against anything. Also, finding landscape that is closer to the color of your actual camouflage helps out a lot as well. When you're up in a building that has a single entry point, equipping mines or claymores can be a really good way to not only get kills, but just alert yourself that other players might be trying to get up into your building. It doesn't take long for players to figure out where you're hiding or see shots coming out of a window or something and start progressing up your building. So at the very least, those mines can warn you about players, and that's super useful. I'll use the grappling hook occasionally too to get up on top of hard to reach vantage points that other players might not think about as much. Now, like playing any class in BattleBit, it's going to be a circumstantial situation. I wouldn't pick the M200 for every map in every situation. It's just not going to be great. Some maps have really bad visibility or much closer range engagement distances where you can be outgunned very easily by assault rifles or PDWs. You're going to have a lot more fun on a map like, say, Wakistan, that's very big, very open, has a lot of concentrated infantry locations. It'll just be easier for you to get those consistent firefights at the ranges that you want. Now, of course, these are universal sniper tips, and I think that most bolt actions in this game are very usable and very fun, but one of the reasons why the M200 is so beloved right now is that it just has one of the highest damage profiles in the game for a bolt action rifle and one of the highest muzzle velocities. So it's very easy to hit moving targets. The downgrades on certain attachments like first shot recoil kick and stuff don't make any difference. So basically you can just slap whatever's going to make this gun shoot the hardest and the fastest, and it gives you a very high chance of getting a one-shot body shot. Obviously aiming for the head is ideal with sniper rifles, but it just gives you huge chances to get those one-shot body shots, and armor, like say a fully armored up support class, is going to have less of a chance of stopping you from one-shot headshotting them, which other sniper rifles will get stopped by support classes with heavy armor on them, which is always a frustrating situation when you hit that perfect headshot at range and it doesn't give you the kill and you're like, oh, okay. Now, some of the potential drawbacks of using the M200 versus some other sniper rifles would be it has one of the slowest ADS times out of the other sniper rifles, so it doesn't make it ideal for like quick reactions necessarily. Then again, I don't think BattleBit is really set up for the aggressive recon style of gameplay. It's very hard where body shots almost never one-shot kill your opponent, and you need to follow up with a sidearm shot, which is usually way too slow for any type of aggressive recon gameplay. And what's kind of funny about the sniper rifles in BattleBit is they just seem to get progressively better for the most part, or at least the starting ones are arguably worse. I mean, the M200 rechambers faster than some of the starting sniper rifles, and it has a faster muzzle velocity and higher damage to boot, which is kind of wild. I think the weapon balance overall in BattleBit still needs quite a lot of work to make, you know, most weapon offerings more viable rather than everybody using the same gun at the end of the day, but we'll see what happens long term. Up next, you should check out this video that's talking about BattleBit's declining player base and what that actually means in the real world for BattleBit and how much longer the game can maintain its support. I think it's a really fun discussion worth checking out. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.